week on Handyman Corner, we're going to make a little project here. It's going to make you real popular with the kids, and that's for sure. We're going to build our very own air hockey game. Yeah, you got two basic principles on that. You got holes, and you got wind going through them. We've all been there, haven't we? All right, the first thing you need for this is a couple of dryers. You can pick these up at a garage sale, or if you stay up late at night, you can hoist a couple out of a laundromat. But by golly, now, I wouldn't advise that. Sure, the dryers are free, but the quarters to keep them running will eventually break you. All right, now what you got to do with these units is you got to plug up the exhaust on them so that the air will go where you want it to go. And the vent is in the back here. I would suggest that you plug her up with, say, a ball or even a small houseplant. Actually, these units already have a fair amount of lint built up in there. That'll do the job for us. Somebody must have dried a cat in there. All right, now you want to push these dryers together and then keep them together using the handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. There's always one in there. So that's where they go. Of course, now hockey is a real physical game, you know, with the slap shots and the cross-chesting and, of course, the inevitable fistfights. So make sure you really horse these babies down. Okay, now remember that we plugged up all the exhaust vents on these. So now we got to punch some holes in the top for it so the air will blow up. Not blow up, boom, blow up. This could take a little longer than I thought. There we go. Boy, you know, that's a little rougher than what I know what you do now, of course, is you add another layer on that. Okay, our new surface now is going to be a pegboard. Probably find a hunk of this hanging over your workbench. I've used it all that much anyhow. Actually, you know, I dated a girl named Pegboard. She ended up marrying a real tool. All right, when you put the pegboard on there, make sure you got the smooth side up. This is what they call good one side. Come to think of it, so was the girl I dated. All right, we got her all set here. I got a jar lid, that's going to be my puck. And I got a couple of cereal bowls to hit it with. So we're all ready to go. And the beauty of using a dryer, of course, is you got the timer on here, so you got your official game time. You even get a buzzer that goes off when the game's over. And you know you can be any team that you want. Heck, if you want to be a European team, just set her on delicate. So remember, women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's hockey night in Canada. Wow, my first breakaway. This week on Handyman Corner, we're going to talk about recycling. If you're like me, you hate to throw things away, you know, bits of string or newspapers or old engines and stuff, you know. And, what are you going to do with an old engine? You know, now, I suppose I could take this down to the auto wreckers or a scrap iron yard or whatever and get a few dollars for it, but you know, the hassle of me driving down there in the truck, you know, with the cost of gas being what it is, and of course I'd have to put this, actually install this back into the truck before I could drive down there. And so what am I going to do with this old engine? Well, I know that ordinarily what you do is you'd zip down to a conservation area and just dump it into a ravine or something. But I'd like to show you something kind of interesting. I'm going to show you how you can equip your whole kitchen from one engine. Now, everybody with space between their teeth likes corn on the cob. And what an interesting way to hold the corn on the cob than to take your valves out of your engine and thrust them into the ends of your cob. And then you can take the valve cover off the motor, and this is a handy tray to hold your butter. Just roll it in there, or you can make it 10W30 if it's to go. I don't care where you go. You're not going to find a better frying pan than an air cleaner. You can get your bacon around the outside there, do pancakes, a little twisting them up in the middle, and then, of course, she comes with a lid. Pop that right on. And you put the wing nut on her there, you got yourself a pressure cooker. Unbelievable. Another thing, kind of interesting. I don't care where you go, who you know, what you see, what you do. You are not going to find a better roasting pan than the sump pan off of a motor. You ever tried to ladle soup in the kitchen? It's a real problem. Makes a big mess all over the place. What you do is take your exhaust manifold, line up the ports over the soup bowls, put the soup into a pitcher of some kind, and then you just pour the soup right up your own tailpipe. How about that, huh? See? Then you're going to throw this stuff out. Huh? So until next time, the women don't find you handsome, she'll at least find you handy. How about some more soup, guys? Coming right up. This week on the Handyman Corner, we're going to show you what you can do with an old fridge. You know, a fridge is kind of like a kid. Even when they don't work, you hate to throw them out. So they end up sitting out on the back porch full of beer. And the same thing happens to fridges. So I say to myself, what do you do with an old fridge, eh? Can't you make something out of that? How about another appliance? How about making it into a dishwasher? Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to create a hole for your water coming in. So you go up to your fridge and you measure down about an arm, okay? Now, if you don't believe that you have a standard size arm, you could use half a leg. All right, now you want to just drill a hole in there. Time is kind of the essence here. All right, our water supply will go in there. Now, as far as the water goes, just a normal garden hose hooked up to your normal garden hose outlet. We don't get fancy here, we just get effective. There we go. That brings back a few memories. All right, now you want to disperse the water inside the fridge. You know, dishwashers have a lot of jets and so forth that sprinkles water around. How about staying with our garden motif here and installing a sprinkler? What you do is just maybe mount this up in here, maybe put this one down on the bottom. You know, it's pretty well wide open. I don't like that style. I like to be a little more creative. Take your hose, put a real good knot in there. And then you want to water seal everything up. So you use duct tape on the end of the hose, and I would even wrap duct tape around where the hose goes actually into the unit. And now, when you turn the water on, the water's got nowhere to go. So what you do is grab a small pointy screwdriver, maybe just sharpen her up a little, and just punch a few holes right into the hose. And now you're ready to throw the dishes in there. Okay, they're all loaded up there. Cutlery can go right nicely into the door. And if you are upset about this ugly looking thing on the side, you can put this side of the fridge against the wall. And now we'll just put our detergent in there, throw that into the butter tray. Okay, close her up. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just throw a little chunk of duct tape on there. You know me, Mr. Safety. Okay, I'll just go out and turn the hose on and we can start washing dishes. Alright, should be done now, I guess. Oh boy, isn't that something? Cutlery's okay, but the dishes seem to have melted here. Oh, wait. All right, maybe we made the knot just a tad too hefty on this. We might have maybe the sprinklers was a better way to go, but it works. I'm amazed. So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. This would probably be better for washing tools. And there we go. Now, she's probably going to leak a little bit, you know, but it's a lawn chair, so it just becomes a lawn chair / sprinkler. Then you hook your garden hose up there to the inlet up in the top corner, and, oh, don't forget your water safety. And then what you do is you use this valve here to bleed all the air out of her. And once she's full of cold water, by golly, you're going to be cool as a cucumber all summer long. Or, you know, if you live next door to a brewery, you could just run the hose into one of them big beer vats of theirs. Ein Prosit. This is living. Yeah, beer will do that to you. This week in Handyman Corner, I thought I'd take you back to a lost art from an era where there were a lot more tradesmen and people were really stinking cheap. See what I've got here? I've got a bell on a piece of thread here, and that's as long as the thread is, and it won't stretch. But watch what happens when I add steam to it. See, the steam drives the moisture into the cotton thread and adds elasticity. Watch this. Oh, baby. See that? See how that works? You know, they used to do the same thing with hats like this. And they'd add the steam to them and they could bend them to fit the whoever was wearing them. Just put the steam in there and they'd mold it to the guy's head, you know? It was called getting your hat blocked, and I guess people who had it done were blockheads. Of course, now they don't do that anymore because everybody's wearing the baseball caps on backwards. But I'm thinking to myself, why couldn't you get your pants blocked so they'll still fit you? You know, we've all seen the passage of time and meals and what that can do to a perfectly good pair of pants who are no longer up to the challenge of keeping up with the waistline they were originally purchased to circumnavigate. Well, I'm saying, why couldn't you just add some steam in there and then just stretch the pants as big as you need them? All right, now, first thing you're going to need is some kind of a pant container to hold them while you're steaming them. Well, here we go. How about hip waders, huh? That'll work just fine. All you got to do is lay them out there and then stuff the pants right into them. You want to get the cuffs way down past the ankles so they'll stick in there. And if it's real old hip waders, they may just stick all on their own, you know. You know, I'd suggest you do this with the blinds down. No sense starting unnecessary rumors. And once you got the pants in there, you want to hang this whole unit from the ceiling upside down. Now you can see I put on the bottom here duct tape coils there, sticky side out, which will stick them right up to the ceiling. Right, there we go. Now all we have to do is add the steam to her. Well, you know, in hindsight there, I believe I would go with a newer, cleaner pair of hip waders. Didn't have the dried mung hanging inside. But anyway, the pants, I would say, now have a full head of steam, and they're ready for the blocking. Now, for what you need for that, to stretch them out real good, you want to get yourself some inner tubes, maybe out of a truck or out of a bus or, you know, whatever size you are. You're a real big boy. Might want to get a couple off the landing gear of the space shuttle. And what you want to do with these is to stuff them up inside the pant legs. But of course, first of all, you got to get the pant legs out of there. Oh, baby. Talk about hot pants. All right, you want to stuff the inner tubes down there. And here again, you might want to close the blinds on this. And if your wife yells down, what are you doing down there? Just say, you're blowing up your pants. I can pretty much guarantee she'll leave you alone for the rest of the day. Hold it. Got a bit of a rip in the pants there. Got to fix that up. There we go. Got them up about 19 sizes now, much like yourself. Now all you got to do is remove those inner tubes. You're all set. Might be an idea to kind of undo the zipper and relieve the pressure. You've done that before. Oh boy. Guess the zipper cut into the inner tube there. I got a bit of a leak. Oh, what am I thinking about? That doesn't matter. We want to get the air out of there anyway. That's perfect. So you see, when you're blocking your pants up to a certain size, I'll tell you, the sky's the limit. Remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Just going over the lodge.
Lodge expenses from last year. Apparently, we spent 84% of our hospitality budget on beer and the rest on pizza. So I'm telling the guys, we gotta find a way to cut down on the cost of pizza. Now, you're probably thinking, why don't we just make our own? Well, it's not that easy. You get a bunch of Lodge members in the kitchen cooking dinner. Now you got that element of gender ambiguity that makes a lot of us nervous about sleeping in a four-man tent. So it's better if we cook our pizza in a non-kitchen environment. And right now on Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you how to do exactly that using something you already got lying around your house. And I don't mean your grandfather. I'm talking about one of these old record players. One of these older models with the long spindle for stacking records on. Next, you need an album to cook the pizza on that. Preferably something that's used to lots of cheese. That's why I went with William Shatner. Okay, once you get that on there, all you do is take your mound of pizza dough, stick that right down over the spindle, and you're set to roll. Now, the beauty of these old machines is you get the 78 speed on there. That way we can get Captain Kirk doing warp speed. May the centrifugal force be with you. Okay, next we use the same basic principle to add our tomato sauce and our pepperoni. I've actually preloaded the tomato sauce into this squeezable ketchup bottle here. Okay, now for our pepperoni, we just take one of these pepperoni sticks, drop it down an old cigar tube. Now all we have to do is slice it. That's why I got a cigar cutter mounted on the bottom end. Okay, now here comes the best part. See, I've taken this aerosol cheese here, and I got her hooked up to this feeder tube. Okay? See how that works? Now I just attach that to the underside of my tone arm here where my record needle used to be. And then I just set her down to 45 RPM and let the cheese play the pizza. If you like double cheese, just set her on 33 1/3. Okay, we're almost done here. Now to turn this baby into an oven, just duct tape some old toaster elements to the underside of the dust cover. But if you're one of those people who likes your crust extra crispy, maybe you want to go with a CD burner. Oh, there's a surefire hit, huh? And once we slice it, we'll have a hit single. So remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. We haven't just made a great pizza, we set a record. Ever seen these automatic coffee makers that have the timer so you can wake up to the smell of fresh coffee? You know what I call that? Nice try. Coffee's not enough. You can't just have coffee for breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. For a lot of people, it's the last decent meal they'll have until lunch. Wouldn't it be better if you could use the technology of clocks and timers to have your whole breakfast prepared before you're even awake? Well, if you didn't think so, you probably wouldn't be watching this show. Okay, first thing you want to get is another coffee maker. I would suggest you go secondhand. It's cheaper, and we're going to pretty much void the warranty anyway. Take the coffee pot out of there and replace it with a small fry pan. Sit it right down on the heating element, because that's where we're going to do all our cooking. But we need the food to get there at the right time. And how are we going to do that? Like clockwork. But you can get rid of the extra coffee pot. We don't need that anymore. Too strong for you? I had to rejig the alarm clock a little bit, so instead of the little hammer ringing those bells that's the cause of so many broken bedroom windows, I took the bells right out of there and replaced them with a couple of eggs. Now this here is just an old school ruler that I was supposed to use on my geometry, but instead the teacher used it on my backside. And now it becomes the sausage feeder for my automatic breakfast machine. Just got to put a counterweight on this end, which will start the toaster once the sausages are in the pan. See, a lot of coordination needed here, but I think we're good to go. I set the coffee maker and the alarm clock for 7 a.m. and I customized the cuckoo clock, so now it'll only go off at 7. Now I just need to move the whole unit to the kitchen. You're probably wondering why I didn't just build the thing in the kitchen. Well, that's because you don't know my wife. I'm not allowed to do projects in the house ever since I did that valve job on the dining room table during dinner. I get asked a lot of the big questions in life. What does it all mean? Why are we here? Why are you here? No, really, sir, why are you here? You're not on the guest list. And of course, the classic one, why is there only beef jerky? Couldn't some creative free thinker come up with a little variety? Well, yes, I can. So today on Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you how to make turkey jerky. First thing you want to do is dry the bird. Not the way your grandmother does it, by roasting it in a 400-degree oven for the entire 12 days of Christmas. No, that's not the way the creative free thinker does it. Okay, the next step in the process is to salt the meat. Oh, sure, I could have added salt to the dryer cycle, but where's the fun in that? The last step we need to make our turkey jerky is to compress the dry salted meat. Now, I'm sure they sell machines made specially for doing that, but I prefer to use this room divider that Bernice bought to stop me from watching TV while we're eating dinner. The big question is, how much pressure is it going to take to flatten this baby? I'm guessing somewhere around 60 pounds. Exactly 60 pounds. Just that easy. So remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Women never get tired of hearing men say those 3 little words. I'll make dinner. Especially the kids have been wailing and fighting all day, and the dog's trying to fireproof the furniture. So today on Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you a simple recipe to make the beautiful Possum Lodge fire engine chili. You know, all chilies pretty much have the same ingredients there, so that's not really the secret of it. The secret is to make everything in big batches. You know, it's a lot cheaper. And you get the leftovers, which is real handy when you get relatives dropping over unexpectedly. And you want to serve them something that'll convince them they should really leave. You know, I think I'm going to need a bigger pot. You know, the beauty of this recipe, if you make enough, you can actually move the whole project outside. You know, where you'll be more comfortable with your surroundings and your equipment. Yeah, just fire that up on there. There we go. Get that in. Now for the onions. Oh, no, wait a minute. Safety first, eh? It's bad enough the guys see you're cooking. You don't want them to see that you're crying, too. All right, once you got all the stuff in there, just let her simmer so the ingredients can marry each other. Don't try to talk them out of it. You didn't listen, neither will they.
Oh, this is going to be a good batch. Now, you know, there's a wide variety of seasonings that you can use in your chili, just to your own personal taste. But I always like to start with the red hot chili powder. I mean, this is called chili, huh? I'm just going to... All right, that's good. Now, what else? Let's see. Oh, go in there. Okay, what else we got? Wow, what the heck? It is called chili. Oh. I'm not going in there. That's fiber. All right, now for my secret ingredient, huh? Kerosene. Oh, no, I know. You're thinking that's poison, right? Well, you know what? The poison part burns off. I'm pretty sure. And it gives the chili a real kick to it, eh? Besides, a little bit of kerosene in the batch this size isn't going to hurt anybody. Well, it isn't going to hurt everybody. Remember now, presentation is everything. So I suggest you serve the chili in a bowl rather than a bunch of you just standing in a circle eating it straight out of the pot. Oh, man. Your wife's going to love you for this, eh? Nothing says my heart burns for you like Possum Lodge chili. Oh. All right, I'm thinking next time on Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you how to turn a shop vac into a stomach pump. Until then, remember, the women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. Anybody want any chili? To go? Man, what is with these car companies? What's the point in even having a gas gauge if it's not accurate? Now, when it says full, it is full. And I got the wet pants to prove it. But when it says empty, gosh, you might have another 50 miles in there. Or, as in the case today, you might in fact be empty. So this week, on Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you how to make a cost-effective hot tub. What does a hot tub have to do with fuel tanks, you're asking? Shh. Now, I'm going to make my hot tub out of an old freezer. You know, freezers are meant to keep things cold. And since this one doesn't anymore, I figure, why not use it to keep things warm? Well, let's get started and find out why not. Now, I know this isn't going to make us a very big hot tub, but I'll tell you, with all the STDs and GSTs and IOUs going around, maybe it's time to get back to those innocent times when you used to just play with yourself in the bathtub. Well, maybe some of you at home are saying, hey, Red, why not just use the bathtub itself? Well, first of all, don't confuse me stopping for breath with a request for suggestions, all right? And secondly, with the lid on the freezer here, you can keep the heat in and the bird treats out. And we got a little light on there, which makes it real nice for the romantic late night dips, and maybe it can help you find your toupee. Now, what you do now is to turn this into a hot tub, maybe all you need is like a pump with a couple of hoses on her there. And I know, you're supposed to add water and you're supposed to put bleach in there to kind of purify the water. You need some way of adding air to it. But that's if you're building a real hot tub. I'm not. This here is a fake. It's just a decoy. I'm actually just solving the gas gauge problem with the possum van. Or we just want it to look like a hot tub, so that visitors will park their car nearby without worrying. What it really is our very own personal gas station. See? So what you do when nobody's looking, you take one end of the hose, you stick that into their gas tank, and you grab your reversible pump control, press suck, and it puts all their gas into the, well, not all their gas, you want to leave them a little bit so they can get a few miles down the road, they won't expect anything. And of course, some of you might want to close the lid on that. We don't want the gas fumes to give you away. We've all been there, haven't we? All right, then we'll just cut that off, and then what you do is you bring your own vehicle nearby, and you put the end of the hose into your own vehicle, and then you press the pump on to blow, and you actually fill up your own tank with air gas, huh? Isn't that beautiful? My golly, no one's any the wiser. So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Tell you one more fill up, and I qualify for a complete set of dinnerware. By golly, I'm wrong. This is a hot tub.